Hey everybody, welcome back to another Talon Tea video. We are continuing the One River Yunnan flight. This is their 2025 raw Puer flights. It comes with the 7 Dragon Balls. Well, 6 Dragon Balls and 1 T coin. And I'm going in order from least expensive to most. This is the next one on the list, Mountain Song. So going to the website, looking at the price, we have one orb, which is 8 grams for $2.65. That comes out to 33 cents per gram. And then we got 24 grams total, so 3 orbs for $7.95. So with the one orb, 33 cents per gram, I think that's pretty reasonable. But now I will go into the description on the website, so feel free to skip ahead to the tea drinking or the final thoughts or whatever you want. So, tea, mountain song, raw pour, Zhang Lang Village, Bada Mountain, Sichuanbana Province, harvested April 2025, pressed May 2025. Tasting notes are peat, tropical fruit, primrose, pine sap, and honey. That sounds quite interesting. Peat, so it's going to be a little smoky, maybe? Deep in the wilds of southwestern Yunnan, wherein the mountains behind the mountains we walked, rises Myanmar. The Bada Mountain looms like a bastion of language and culture to the Bulang people, comprising of three villages linked by dirt roads through the mountains. The community here is interwoven and culturally rich. Songs and dance fill the mountains and are as much a part of life as is the sea. Thus, out of respect for the time we spent in Zonglang Village, celebrating the Bulang New Year, we have called this tea Mountain Song to honor the communal singing and dancing we were allowed to participate in. In addition to the thick culture, this tea is incredibly deep and hints of powers that will bloom in time. It is probably the juiciest, most fragrant tea we have on offer this year. The leaves have a sappy honey fragrance that is redolent of primrose and gardenia flowers, while there are notes of tropical fruit juice when the dry leaves are placed in a warmed vessel. Although the tea is single origin material from Bada Mountain's core region, Zanglang Village, we took a chance and blended up a few different ages of trees. The gushu we found, while being very soothing on the body, had very little fragrance or aroma, something which the Chiao Mu had in handfuls. We chose a big tree base and blended in good amounts of gushu to give this tea a pleasant ride, while also including some smaller Chiao Mu to make sure the fragrance slaps. We are very pleasant with the results, and after one fragrant session, we're sure you'll see why. This tea is a little wild around the edges, and when brewed, the juicy notes intensify, and we catch hints of peat in the cup. Some lingering smokiness, which will become camphor fragrances in time. The mouthfeel is already pleasantly thick, very oily and rich in the mouth, with a pleasant bitterness that quickly becomes a deep huiyan. The art of cake wrapper was done by talented Gong a Tuhia minority scholar and artist based in Zhangjiaji. This place in particular is a reference to singing culture in the mountains, used to communicate things over great distances. All right. So kind of cool to hear about the culture behind this tea and everything that went into making it. It's definitely pretty interesting. Sounds like they go on some real adventures to source this tea. But first I'm going to start just with a quick dry smell. Oh yeah, it definitely is a little smoky. I think that's majority of what I'm getting. I do get a little bit of a sweet tea note in the background there. It's like there's a little bit of sweetness peeking through that smoke, but so far, majority smoke. Let me get this unwrapped. Alright, here is that wrapper just to show you real quick, show you the artwork. And then on the side there, Mountain Song, there is music in the mountains. Got where it's from, got the brewing instructions, looks pretty cool. Here is that tea, definitely got a dark look, darker than normal raw pour at least, has like a lot of browns, a lot of golds, a lot of tans. I assume that's from the smoke. Who knows? Just how they process it. I'm going to put this in the Gaiwan. We'll put it in at boiling for about a minute to open up, and we'll check back then. All right, here is Mountain Song. This is the wash. Just to show you the difference in color change and give you my initial thoughts, as well as do the wet leaf smell. So quite a, sometimes I notice some of these raw pours in general will get this kind of odd light tan appearance to it every once in a while, and this is one of those. Put it on the dog. All right. Not quite open. I'll probably let it steam for a moment too. Kind of reminds me, if you've ever smoked a hookah, kind of reminds me of the smell of that shisha roasting. There's like a sweetness, a smoky like coal note to it, and kind of like a fruity vibe to it. It's like sweet, roasted coal, fruity. Yeah, that's what I'm getting right now. It smells real nice. It's quite pleasing. Yeah, let me let this steam for a moment. All right, here is that Mountain Song first steep. This went for 15 seconds. Well, a leaf made it through. It looks like it's somewhat open now. Not quite. Still pretty whole. That's okay. Not a big deal. I have a feeling this is going to be a 2 or 3 steep before it fully opens. But let's judge the color. Very light, pale, straw, golden color to it. Got the nice little floating hairs in there. But overall, relatively clear. Not really cloudy, not opaque. Looks fantastic. Let's get another smell on there, see how that is. Yeah, very nice. Still that sweet, fruity. I think that that smoke has calmed down a bit, but it was already pretty calm. It wasn't too overly smoked or just super smoky like some of these other ones I've had. Frankly, I haven't had a lot of smoked tea. I've had I think one from White 2T and then one from the Steeping Room. The Steeping Room one was a black tea, very, very smoky. It was like the taste was only smoke. And then the one from White 2T was very nice. I actually liked that one a lot and bought a bunch more. But this one's nice. It's I think very well balanced in the smell, at least, with the smoke and the fruitiness and sweetness. It smells very inviting, well balanced. I feel like I'm gonna get a bit of all of them. All right, I'm gonna try this first steep. I let it cool a bit. I will note after cooling, this one did not get cloudy. It's interesting. I've noticed some of these raw pours, when they cool, they'll cloud up, and sometimes they don't. Oh, wow. There's a lot of real intense flavor on the tip of the tongue on that one, just straight off the bat. But I can tell this one definitely needs to open up a bit. Not a whole lot of flavor yet. A little bit of texture. Definitely something waiting to peek out. So I will be right back with that second steep. All right, here is that second steep. Once again, done at boiling. About 15 seconds. Maybe a slight tad bit over, but no more than 20. And now, as you can see, quite a bit more color. Looks fantastic. I believe yeah, I'd say that's open. Let's give it another smell. Real interesting smell to this tea for sure. Almost like damp basement. Damp basement mixed with tropical fruit smokiness. Old, no, maybe not damp bait. Like, yeah, it's like old lady. It's like kind of smells like old perfume and damp basement. Retirement home smell. A bit of smokiness, bit of tropical fruit, a bit of sweetness, and then there's a tad bit of vegetal. But that's interesting. I wonder if that's primrose. They mentioned primrose. I'm not sure what that is, frankly. Sounds different than rose. But maybe that's the old lady perfume smell I'm getting. Looking beautiful, nice clear color. Got a lot more deep, vibrant gold to it. The leaves, for the most part, are relatively whole. Not as super nice as these last teas I've tried, but overall, still quite nice. I can't complain. All right, so here is that second steep, and I know earlier I said it didn't cloud up as I let it cool. Well, now it's clouded up a bit, so real interesting. Maybe that's because it wasn't quite opened up yet, but I'm gonna taste it. That is a very pleasant. I'd say the overwhelming flavor on this one is like vegetal, fruity, and that peaty smokiness I was getting on, especially on the dry leaves and on that wash at first. Definitely calmed down and taking a back seat, but still backing it up, and it's definitely still there. And there's a lot of that, I don't know, old lady flower perfume smell going on as I drink it. Like I can smell as I'm taking a sip. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's just interesting. Would they also mention gardenia and primrose? So I don't know what either of those smell like offhand, frankly. I'm not a florist or anything, but definitely getting some old lady perfume notes in there. Definitely a nice mouthfeel. It's very thick, bit mouth drying at the end. A slight bit of bitterness on the front notes. Very quickly passes though, and there's that nice what do they call it? Huigan. I don't know how to say that. That returning sweetness they say. So it's like the aftertaste and sweetness in the throat, and it's nice. Yeah, this one's definitely interesting. A lot of fruitiness up front. A lot of that I don't know, primrose, gardenia, something like that. That's like now at the second steep predominantly what I'm getting. First steep was like very much not opened yet, but I was getting quite a bit of that fruitiness, like zing on the front of my tongue. Quite a bit mouth drying. Definitely very energizing. I feel quite energized already. So very very strong in the energy department. But yeah, this one's definitely interesting. I wouldn't say it's my favorite for me personally, but if any of those flavor notes sound good to you, or any of the smell or effects sound good, give it a shot. It's 33 cents a gram, so not too bad. Definitely worth at least having a sample. I just don't think this is my preferred. I know I normally like floral, but this is I don't know, a different kind of floral, something that I'm personally not too into. That fruitiness and the tropical fruit notes at the beginning, if it stayed more along those lines, I think it would be a little more my jam. But I think that's all I got. So leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more tea content, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. See ya.